following is an exclusive presentation of the Wide World of Horses. Visit us at wideworldofhorses.com.
This is the Oklahoma Series, presented by Oklahoma Agritourism, featuring the Clem McSpadden Bushyhead Pasture roping. A 101-foot head start, then a breakneck chase across the tall grass prairie. If you can do that fast enough, you get to rope these monsters. It's a 31-year-old Oklahoma tradition and one of the great events in the world of rodeo.
It's a bittersweet weekend here in Bushyhead because of the recent loss of the founder and namesake of this event, legendary rodeo announcer, PRCA Hall of Famer, and favorite son, Clem Rogers McSpadden.
Clem McSpadden was the finest man in rodeo that I've ever known. He has always been a hero to me, and not just because of his rodeo announcing, but because he was a true Western type man. What I mean by that is his word was his bond. He always went out of his way to help someone. You didn't hear him griping and complaining. He took bad situations and made good out of them.
For a quarter century since he founded the event, Clem McSpadden has been the manager and the man at the mic here at Bushyhead. Going on without him was one of the hardest things his son Bart and wife Donna will probably ever have to do. But he made them promise they would, as he lay dying of cancer a little more than 2 months before the event.
There were only two things Clem and I hadn't talked about. That when he knew that the rope was getting short, he said, "Donna, promise me that you'll go on with Bushyhead." And he said, "Even if I'm not here." And I said, "Clem, if you're not here, that's not your call." And he said, "Just promise me, please." And I did. The second thing he asked me, he said, "Don't make my headstone bigger than my dad's." I won't.
So they put Clem's hat at his usual place on the announcer stand, along with the simple tools of his trade.
A microphone, a big chief tablet, and a clipboard. He's with us today. I know that. What I would like to tell you is what you mean to us. And what Bart and his family and I did is to make you each an inductee of the Bushyhead Hall of Fame.
And they paid tribute to Clem in the cowboy way, using his own words recorded from a previous year, his famous Patriotic Rodeo open, "If Our Flag Could Talk."
I'm many things to many people. I'm America. I'm more than 250 million strong in the ghosts of millions who lived and died for me. And ever since I've been a flag, there have been troubled spots in this old world, and I've always answered that call, and I've stayed until it was over there. I'm old Freckles Brown riding a bull I called Tornado many years ago that had never been ridden. I'm the crack of a baseball off a bat in a World Series game. I'm the hushed voice of a choir in a cathedral, and I'm 300,000 churches where my people worship. I was born in freedom, and God willing, in freedom I'll spend the rest of my days. May my people have the strength, the honor, the integrity, and the courage to keep me free and a beacon of hope for the entire world. Yes, that's what I would say if I could talk.
It puts everything in perspective, that's for sure, you know, because you're used to seeing him up there and hearing him tell a few stories and everything, and I really enjoyed that, and because, I mean, he was a cowboy too, you know, but I really enjoy it. I appreciate all they do.
Then it was up to the announcers to go on without their friend and mentor.
To say we're going to do it in his memory would be an understatement. But we're going to rope. That's what Clem would want.
And how they rope at Bushyhead is like no place else in the world. Galloping at full speed out into an open pasture, chasing a steer with a 101-foot head start. The top 12 vie for the championship and a chance to rope 1,600 pounds of longhorn steer with a spread of horns 5 feet wide or more.
It's the way cowboys used to rope many years ago, and I think that's what intrigued Clem the most from the beginning. And then the fact when they started roping the great big steers with the big horns, I think he got the biggest kick out of that, of the whole event. But it is the most unusual and the most different event, probably compared to any of the rodeos that you would go to. So it's just different.
Well, it's kind of a cowboy event. I mean, you kind of ought to be a pretty good cowboy, I think. Good horse, you know, and just kind of got to have good partners and just kind of rope smart, you know, just go catch.
And there's a wild and woolly pasture barrel race, an endurance challenge across the prairie and around the pond. There's a dummy roping for the kids who take it just as seriously as the big guys. And then there's just the overall Bushyhead experience.
People bring their horses and do a little pleasure riding and try to do a little training. The contestants come, they bring motorhomes or tents, and they camp out with their families, and I'm so glad to see that they do that with youngsters.
Clem McSpadden always hoped that he'd get 200 ropers at Bushyhead, and they got just about that this year. They whittled it down to 75 today, and now we're down to the final 12. We'll be back with the short go right after this. Asking a horse to gallop full speed into a pasture with no fence in sight can lead to all kinds of trouble. And anything can happen at Bushyhead. We're back at the Clem McSpadden Bushyhead Pasture Roping and Barrel Race, a tradition that's become one of the most colorful events in the world of rodeo.
Just fine, be $27.
It's still a family-run deal, and you'll meet him the minute you drive through the gate and give your money to Norma Summey, sister of Donna McSpadden. Norma's been doing this job for free since the pasture roping started.
So I've been doing this for 25 years. And the surprise of the whole thing, I've never seen the roping.
Norma's husband works the gate along with their daughter Tila, who also sings the national anthem.
And the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air.
It's a family-run event for families, many who come to camp and cook and shop and relax. But you better be on your toes because the action at Bushyhead is never far away.
All right, look out west side. Get ready, get ready, get ready. That rascal was dead-eyeing that lady in that
It's unique. Most feature rodeos that stood up over the years, such as Cheyenne, Pendleton, Salinas, all have a uniqueness about them that no other rodeo has, and it's the size of the arena or the score or the ground conditions, and everybody wants to go there because there's only one like it, and that's the way with Bushyhead.
The cattle here get a 101-foot head start, the longest in rodeo, into an open pasture, only part of which is even mowed.
The steers can run at leisure either direction they want to go. Of course, the grass is a little more treacherous than on prepared arena ground. And then you've got the pond element that we've had many jump in the pond or get over in the pond, and you've got all those different elements in the tall grass at the back that make it different, and it's kind of like playing golf. You've got to control your shots to stay in the best place to play.
And there's a water hazard.
Yes, ma'am, and there's a water hazard.
It's Bushyhead, and that means anything can happen. Just ask Cody Barlow of Pawnee, Oklahoma, who had a little rough stock action in his roping run. Cody gets our first annual Oklahoma Series Never Say Die award for hanging tough, chasing down his steer, getting him roped, and staying in the average.
I guess I just didn't have him warmed up good enough. I mean, I really didn't expect it, but you never can tell. It wasn't really the run I was hoping for, but I mean, I'm tickled pink to have the one I got. Maybe the next one will be better.
After 2 rounds, the field of nearly 200 teams was cut to 75, and now we're down to the final 12. They'll ride for prize money and the Sweepstakes, a chance to rope these bad boys.
Do you think about those old-timey cowboys that used to drive whole herds of those? What were they made out of?
Oh, they were tougher than anybody here, I imagine. I know my granddad done it, and so they're tougher than we are, I'm sure.
First up, Antoine Fuston and Andrew Ward, who make it look easy.
2 feet, how about that?
But the next team, Oklahomans Reagan Ward and Austin Rogers, give you an idea of what Bushyhead can do to a cowboy.
And they take no time.
Ward and Rogers won't be alone. You'll see more heelers miss on this rough ground than at a normal rodeo.
Cattle are going a lot faster than they normally do, and there's a lot more swing on the end of the rope. And these cattle, admittedly, because they're older cattle and they're bigger, they're a lot smarter. And they'll run up on the rope or they'll drag, or there's just a lot of different elements in there.
The next team, Dustin Farrow and Cody Cameron of Ada, Oklahoma, get a clean head catch, but the heeler misses one hawk, giving them a 5-second penalty. Jim Locke of Miami, Oklahoma, and his partner Jeff Hilton of Olney, Texas, also have a bit of bad luck. Jim is able to fish his steer onto the string, but Jeff Hilton cannot follow with the heels, so they too are out.
Tough break for those guys.
Keith Lauer and Mitch Murray, both from Buffalo, Oklahoma, have a good chance to take the lead here, but again, the heeler can't scoop up both heels, and the 5-second penalty penalty leaves Lauer and Murray short of first. Dee Keener of Inola, Oklahoma, a Bushyhead veteran, is teamed up with Keith Deckard of Wagner, Oklahoma. Their black steer runs hard for the tall grouse, but they catch him just in time.
Yes, sir. There'll be a new leader.
58-7 on 3 head is now the time to beat. Caleb Woodard of Zenda, Kansas is partnered with fellow Kansan Dusty Arnold of Hutchinson, who's been to Bushyhead 7 times now.
You just got to be consistent. I think a lot of people try to be fast on steers that you can't be fast on. And we try to get a good start where we're not real late but not pushing the barrier, and just try to make good, consistent runs.
Old Ed is saying, I am going to the backside, guys. If y'all going to catch me, you got to hurry. The other pony sets it up, takes his throw, and yes, 2 feet.
Woodard and Arnold move into first with a 19-8. Caleb was in the final last year and got the chance to rope the big steers.
You run behind him and he kind of stands up there above your horse. He's got horns just huge, and I got a little intimidated and missed him. But
he's hoping for another chance this year. But Justin Odell of Ramona, Oklahoma, and Cole Williams of nearby Skytook want their chance too.
Yeah, good run. 16-9, 54-6. So they take the lead now.
What made you decide to come to this deal?
He said he'd pay part of my fees, so I thought he can't beat that. And then he backed out at the last moment. I had to pay my fees, but it worked out good. I'm glad he told me that.
Another pair of Oklahomans, Dustin Elmenhorst of El Reno and J.D. Clune of Edmond, are next. A 17-9 or less will give them the lead, but their red steer makes a beeline for the crowd line. They run out of room, make a desperate throw, and end up with a no time. Tyler Forrest and Nathan Kirk, both of Holbert, Oklahoma, came in with a time of only 32-6 on 2 head. They can go as long as 21-9 and still take the lead. They chase their bald-faced steer to the end of the short grass, but they never get the clean shot they need. With 2 more teams to go, the time to beat is still held by Justin Odell and Cole Williams with a 54-6 on 3 head. Andy Matthews and Shane Elliott from Dover, Oklahoma, have averaged 16 seconds a steer so far, and they can go as long as 22-2 and move into the top spot.
They got him caught. Oh, he lost his rope to take the lead, folks. He would have took the lead.
Ouch. That one smarts in more ways than one. Just one team left in the short go now, Kansans' Gene Jett of Scott City and Tom Peterson of Cimarron, who said he's been to Bushyhead at least 7 or 8 times.
Is it hard not to be intimidated by all that open pasture and all that ground you have to make up?
No, I kind of go blank whenever I cross this line right up here. No, it's just the first one. This is the first time I took this horse, and the first one he wasn't too bad. The second one he realized how fast we could go, and I had a little speed control problem, but we got him slowed down.
Hopefully, Tom has got his brakes fixed, but for now, he and Gene Jett need the gas pedal.
And it's clean.
That will be your champion.
The top 3 in the average out of the final 12 end up in the sweepstakes, and that means they get to rope the big guys. A cowboy's dream come true or his worst nightmare? See for yourself in the Bushyhead Sweepstakes next. Plus the top runs in the Pasture barrel race, so don't write off. Welcome back. What makes this Bushyhead pasture roping so much different than anything else in the world of rodeo is not just the 101-foot head start the cattle get into an open pasture with a water hazard, it's what happens in the final go. In the sweepstakes here at Bushyhead, the top 3 teams will rope not the standard Corriente steers, but these full-size longhorn cattle.
They're 5-7-year-old 1600-pound steers, like Texas Longhorns, and it's just a unique deal when you see them 3 run. Some of them's got a horn spread of 5.5 foot, and you know it's a unique deal when you see a 1,600-pound steer going out in front of a 1,400-pound horse, and the thing about it is when we run those, you want to see one caught, because it is a rodeo when you get one caught, because you can't drag 1,600-pound steer like you do the regular roping steer.
Do some of these guys think they want to rope until they get hold of one on the other end of that rope?
Oh, it's fun to watch them, because we've got several pictures, of seeing them rope, and their eyes as big as $half, and they're looking at him and they're going across there 30 miles an hour down that pasture, and I think they really want to rope one until they latch on, and it's like, whoa, now the rodeo's on, it's a unique deal. It's fun to watch.
We'll have the sweepstakes coming up. But first, the Bushyhead Pasture Barrel Race, a course more than half a mile long, circling 2 barrels, then rounding the pond dam for the third with a charge back up a merciless hill for the finish. It's a course that rewards horses with the handle to make the turns, speed for the race between barrels, and the heart to make the long run home. This year, local woman Lucinda Williams of nearby Veneta, Oklahoma, had one of those horses and a time of 52:61. Little Chelsea Anderson of Warner, Oklahoma, was a crowd favorite with her stampede strings and her pigtails flying. She turned in a very respectable 57:03. But Paige Elderton of Springdale, Arkansas, stung the field with the 14-year-old horse she calls Scorpion. He didn't have the closest turns, but he did have the speed and endurance to make up for it. Their run went from barrel race to steeplechase at one point, but the two still managed to post the quickest run of the day with a 52:47.
It used to be more of a endurance race, but now the turns are getting tighter. So, but of course, you've got to have that endurance to come back up the hill.
Roberta Drake of Neodesha, Kansas was last to go and made a solid run for the lead, but turning into the home stretch, she and her horse nearly went down. She still managed to finish in just under 56 seconds. So our champion is Paige Elderton, who carried the American flag in the tribute to her friend Clem McSpadden in the opening ceremonies. It's an emotional moment for Paige as Donna McSpadden presents her with the championship saddle and buckle. And now for the finale. The first team to match up with the Longhorns, Caleb Woodard and Dusty Arnold. Caleb made the sweepstakes last year, chased this same steer, and missed, so he's looking for a little redemption.
Looky here, looky here, looky here.
He escaped.
Did you half-head him, or did you get around both horns?
I actually roped his right horn, and it kind of fell around there a little bit, and then I rode up there and fished on it half head. So
you were fishing for about 50 yards, it looked like.
It seemed a lot further than that. Was that all it was? Oh shoot, I figured we got down by that pond, and I was like, uh-oh, we're going into the tall grass. So, but I wasn't going to give up.
So then no pressure on you. You're thinking, oh man, now I've got to heel him.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried to just set it under there. The grass is pretty tall down there. It's hard to set it down there, so I tried him, didn't work.
Next, Justin Odell and Cole Williams will give it a go.
The little old puny thing comes trotting out through there. Yeah, go get him, cowboy. Go get him, cowboy. Horn and a half head, that's what I do.
Another one of Donna's babies got away.
Only one of Donna's Longhorns is left in the pen, and it has our Bushyhead champions Gene Jett and Tom Peterson's names on it. Tom made the short go before, but never placed until this year.
What do you think the secret to your success was? You know, brilliant strategy, great horses, teamwork, blind luck?
I'd say it was his head horse right there, because he can run so hard.
And they're going to need everything he's got for this next run. Since nobody's caught, Gene and Tom can win even if they break the barrier, so they cut straight to the chase.
Here comes the little fella. And he dropped his rope. No time.
And you guys had a strategy at the end. You were the last ones to go. You didn't worry about the barrier, so we saw you just come blazing out 100 miles an hour.
Just try to be smooth, but that steer you kind of had to go about 100 to catch him.
So you wanted to rope the big steer, and then when you were roping, what was going through your mind?
I was a little intimidated. Their horns are pretty big. I almost caught him though. So.
Were you just trying to half-head him? I mean,
Yeah.
Could you get a loop around both of them, you think?
You have to be a better hand than me to do that.
So nobody goes home with the bonus money.
No, none of Donna's little pets got caught.
Congratulations to all of our winners here at the Bushyhead Pasture Roping. A big thanks to the McSpadden family for allowing us to be a part of the event this year. And thanks to you for joining us. We'll see you next time on Wide World of Horses.